there's a professor.
Just like everything in the world sometimes ties back into sports. So we're this week, the new thing that everybody's freaking out about is this Bad Bunny playing the halftime show. So I wake up this morning to a freaking headline about Danica Patrick comments that Bad Bunny should not be allowed to play the Super Bowl because he only does songs in Spanish. And if you're going to have the biggest American event, you have to do songs in English. People actually are going to Danica Patrick for freaking opinions now.
This is a woman who never
This is a woman.
This
is a woman who a year ago admitted she had never voted until 2024. It's a woman who really has two areas of expertise. One, crashing race cars.
Yes, whatever she drove.
I mean, honestly, if you are looking for advice on how to crash a race car, Danica Patrick may be the leading authority of the world on that subject. But now she's commenting on culture, and her biggest contribution to culture was doing those dirty ads for GoDaddy that used to get banned from the Super Bowl.
Yes.
You should strip in the shower for GoDaddy. I think GoDaddy's even out of business now.
I don't know if they exist.
Now that she's no longer stripping for the commercials. So when you talk about being crude and content for the Super Bowl, I'm not sure you're qualified to take a moral stance on that, Danica.
Seems like a nice choice.
So again, it takes us back to the only thing Danica Patrick's really qualified to comment on is crashing cars. If you have like an insurance situation and you need to crash a car, Danica Patrick is your go-to.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Hello, one and all. Sorry for the late start. Little Luca called me from the pen to do a little bit more feeding. I guess they call it cluster feeding. He's eating every like 5 minutes right now. So it's a fun. And mom is not one for lack of sleep. So that's my role in the child rearing, is staying up a lot, not sleeping a lot, and doing lots of feedings and lots of diaper changes. But we're here. Defo, I think, is in Keeneland. His flight was at like 5:30, which I didn't even know that was a thing. So he's in Keeneland the rest of this week. I am here with you today. Shortly, I'll be joined by the one and only Tony Segreto. Thank you to Texas Roadhouse, as we will be kicking at old school. Ed Garcia should be joining us shortly thereafter. Talk a lot of college football. His Michigan Wolverines are in a decent place. The Miami Hurricanes are coming off their first loss, but they are sitting there in the top 10 still, and definitely still have a shot at the playoffs and a shot at the Atlantic Coast Conference, ACC. Our Miami Dolphins, that's very, very, very far away, championships and playoffs. And my Florida State Seminoles, same thing. Yes, I know USF is in the top 25, and USF is a playoff contender. I know UCF with Scott Frost is actually playing pretty good football. I have not forgotten those programs, but no one really cares about them. I'm sorry to tell you. Like Florida State, Miami are called the Big Three for a reason. Florida State, Miami at one point this season were all ranked. Florida fell on hard times. A nice win versus Texas and a decent win this weekend over Mississippi State. But Billy Napier no longer will be the coach. Supposedly there was he was fighting over plays or something. Dude, your offense sucked. You should torch those plays. So Billy Napier, I am jealous of the Florida Gators because they did take action against their coach who clearly isn't right for that job. My Florida State Seminoles did not take action, and they're doing very much like the Miami Dolphins. Everyone knows the guy's going to be fired, but we're not firing him. Now, the Miami Dolphins, there isn't a buyout issue. Stephen Ross has just lost his mind when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. Florida State Seminoles, it's purely money. I mean, again, right now, I think the buyout's around 56 to 58 million for Mike Norvell. End of the year, I think it's 48 million. If you're going to fire him, I guess get every dollar you can. To me, it's just when you've watched Florida State the last month, they literally have regressed every week. I mean, they played what was supposed to be their easiest game of the season, and it came down to a last-second play that, yes, was a touchdown. By any metric, it was a touchdown. But playing this isn't Andrew Luck's Stanford. David Shaw's not on that sideline. Frank Reich's literally their interim coach. Andrew Luck just got there as, I don't even know if he's their AD, GM, whatever he is. Like, this is a Stanford program that is total in flux, total rebuild, and took Florida State to the wire and then beat Florida State. It was controversial, but it shouldn't even be that close. And when you watch Florida State, both sides of the ball, they have regressed immensely. I mean, especially from that Alabama game. And when you watch Mike Norvell, it's clear that anything he's doing or saying is not working. I mean, what I've seen and we've seen from Mike McDaniel down here in South Florida is what you're seeing from Mike Norvell in Tallahassee. And that's to me, that's when you just say, okay, like, and I get the money's big and I get it's tough to figure out over $50 million. But to have that guy go coach again is just, and I don't feel bad for him. He's making a lot of money. I mean, he made his bed. They extended the last assistants. They then fired the last assistants. They then brought in high-profile, high-priced assistants this offseason. Led to a big win over Alabama, and they've not been able to reach that level of play since. I don't feel bad for that. I don't feel bad for any of these guys. They're making millions of dollars. But it's like, at some point, don't you put the guy out of his misery? Like, to watch him go and try and coach his team again. It's like, literally, his players are making fun of him. That's happening with Mike McDaniel as well. It's like the mirror image when I watch both of those football teams. The defenses can't get off the field. The offense is supposed to be high flying, but is barely mustering points. The quarterbacks are supposed to be fun, and they're both struggling. And Tommy Castellanos and Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know. To me, inaction, and I've said this the last few days, is the worst thing. Bad is horrendous. Good's the goal, but inaction, it's the worst. Like, I give the Gators credit. Like, the bio was only 21, and I give Penn State credit. James Franklin bio was in the 50 millions, and they didn't care. They've had this script replayed over and over again, and they said, okay, we're moving on. And it's clear Florida State will move on, but AD Michael Alford this week said, yeah, we're still looking at things. We'll assess at the end of the season. It's like, dude, you're just admitting you're going to fire him at the end of the season. That's the definition of blame duck. It's not even that a guy that doesn't have a contract the next year. It's a guy that this season has been horrible. They've lost 4 games in a row. They've lost 4 consecutive ACC games this year. They've lost, I think, 9 consecutive ACC games or some stupid. And the ACC is one of the worst conferences in college football. They go try, and they have a bye this week. Get rid of him. Like, to go trot him out in 2 weeks. I mean, that's going to be so, like, so just weird and awkward and strange. And I don't know. The whole thing's weird for both. Look, and the Dolphins, the same thing. You're 1-5. What are they? I think they're 1-6. Like, how can you be 1-6 and the coach still there? And again, they've gotten worse every week. I mean, the losses that they've suffered are brutal, to the point where you're playing a 1-5 Browns team and get demolished. And the Browns, I think, threw for under 200 yards. You lose by like 20-something points to a team, I think, that threw for under 200 yards. Like, it's just a comedy of errors when I look at both of those teams. USF is sitting there in the top 25, which is very interesting. And of the group of 5, I think they're the highest ranked. So they actually have a really good shot. They may have a better shot at making the playoffs than the Hurricanes at this point, just because what they play the rest of the year is nothing. And the Canes don't really control their own destiny. Right now, the Canes are 3rd in the ACC. It's hard for me to see 2 teams making the ACC championship game, Miami not making the ACC championship game, and trying to be the 3rd team in. It's funny, for only 1 loss, and they should be a top 10 team for a while, if not the rest of the season, they're not guaranteed a playoff spot. It's very weird what that loss will do for the Miami Hurricanes, but we'll see. Again, you never know. There's still 5 games left, a lot of season left. The World Series is set. That will hit the diamond this Friday. Dodgers, Blue Jays first time back in the World Series, and I think in over 30 years. The Dodgers have been a regular there the last few years. They are the defending champions. We'll see if they repeat. And this gentleman is a big fan of the World of Baseball, guy that was actually drafted and a guy that played in minor league baseball himself, the one and only Mr. Old School himself. Thank you to, again, Texas Roadhouse. Tony Segreto joins us this morning. What's going on?
Good morning, Lubie. How you doing?
I'm here.
You know what? You're a great dad.
Oh, yeah, well,
you're a great dad.
I'm trying.
All these things mean a little bit more. You know, this. You're a good husband too. So
I'm trying my best. It's definitely different. It's not like I get tons of sleep already, so I'm sort of used to less sleep. But yeah, I will say, from 6 hours to 4 hours is a very big difference. That 2 hours.
That 2 hours makes a huge.
I can't wait till he starts sleeping longer. I know, I guess people must start sleeping longer, because I'm missing that 2 hours right now. I'll tell you that. But he's doing well, thank God.
What time do you get up?
We're doing this Fakakta split thing because we want to make sure both people get definitive sleep. But because my wife's not great at going to bed early, I'm the one that drew that straw. So I try to go to bed between 9 and 9:30, and I'm up at like 2 in the morning. So I'm getting like 4 to 5 hours of sleep, and then I stay with him until here I am. So, and today a little bit later because he called for a little bit more food. He's going, I guess they call it cluster feeding, where like every 30 minutes he's hungry. So last night he was actually pretty good. He was sleeping from an hour and a half to 2 hours, but like when he would eat, he would want to eat and eat and eat. So
Is Shirley pumping?
we're doing all of it. We're doing what they call combo, and but I'm glad we're doing formula because the breast milk only feeds them so much. It's very thin, and it's good for them. There's a lot of nutrients and all that, but the formula is a lot thicker and a lot more filling. So at nights, I've been focusing on doing the formulas, and then during the day, we're doing her milk. And he's doing good. He's doing well. She's doing well. I went to the doctor yesterday. The doctor's like, beautiful baby. We're there for like 3 minutes. It was the shortest doctor visit I've ever had in my entire life, which is a good thing. He's like, he looks beautiful. He in 1 week he gained a pound. It's like, oh my god, this guy's eating. Yeah, no. He's. It took me like months to gain weight. He is an eater. Like this dude, for being premature, you would not know it. He left the hospital at 4'9". Last week was when we were there 5'2", and now he's at 5'11". Like in 1 week, he almost gained an entire pound. So he's doing well. Mama's doing well, and we'll find our sleep. We're dancing around because there's not a lot of fun to talk about when it comes to the world of football. The World Series is set, so I do want to talk to you about that because I know you're a big baseball guy, and Blue Jays back there since early 90s, the Joe Carter days, and the Dodgers are now a mainstay in the World Series. But before we get to that, we'll talk a lot. I just give it to you. You, a guy who are a staunch supporter of the Miami Dolphins and the Miami Hurricanes, as there is, but you've also become very honest in your days since removing yourself from working with these franchises / programs. You were weary. I think you thought the Canes would win, but you were weary about this Louisville game. You were weary about Mario being Mario. I don't know how much you put on Mario. Beck had 4, arguably 5 interceptions because he literally took one back that was a really bad roughing the passer call, and then
you can't blame Mario. You can't blame him.
What do you do with that game? What do you do, Mr. Kane? Louisville, good team. It was at home. It was a tough game. Miami gets a huge turnover late to have a chance to get back in it. They get the ball back. They almost tie it with a field goal, and that's when Carson Beck, in field goal range, throws one of the dumber interceptions you're going to see. That's the one place where people are blaming Mario, because if you're the head coach, don't you just say run, run, run? Like, to me, they had 40 seconds left, so I'd rather win it. Like, overtime's not guaranteed. So I thought that's what they were doing, but most people are like, those aren't play calls for someone who's trying to win it. Those are play calls for someone who's trying to kick a field goal. Okay, then why are you throwing it? Like, they had timeouts. I think they had 3 timeouts, and they were in field goal range. This kid actually who came in with who was 4 of 11 before this season has been really good, their kicker. That's where people are going, there's Mario. Like, instead of telling Dawson, run the ball here, that's supposedly, look, I don't know what to do with it because I've always given Mario crap, but I don't put that much on him from this game.
People are just looking. Those people, I'm sorry to say, whoever you are, you're just looking for something to blame Mario. Plain and simple. I can't deal with it.
Well, that's my thing. Look, and I get it's not all his fault, and again, it's
not all his fault. And Miami played as well as they could play. They were out-coached, and outplayed. Plain and simple.
Yeah,
that's it.
And it's going to happen. And look, that was my fear.
Everybody has a game like this. There's not, I'd be surprised. I went out with my 2 college buddies last night.
Okay.
And we talked about and one of them was a former Hurricane player, and one of them's a Hurricane booster like me. He's a Hurricane graduate, and three Hurricanes.
Nice.
And we said that there's not going to be one undefeated team in the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of who.
Think about it.
How many undefeateds are left? There's, I mean, it's
Well,
a different.
Ohio State. Ohio State's the only one.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And that's probably what it's going to be because the Big Ten isn't as scary as it was. Michigan, we'll talk about Michigan with Ed hopefully in the next 10 minutes or so. Michigan is good, but they're not the same thing. Bryce Underwood's figuring things out on the fly, the true freshman, the high paid true freshman. Penn State is a total disaster. The Big Ten's way down. Ohio State seems like it's going to run away with it. And look, in Ohio State, the way they've been accumulating talent, both via recruiting and the portal, has taken that Alabama slot and Georgia slot. Like Alabama, Georgia, Texas, have all done a really good job putting talent together. They pale in comparison. Ohio State is a freaking juggernaut. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. And when Miami was undefeated and people were, oh, well, it's Ohio State and maybe Miami it's not. Like if you watch Ohio State, and yeah, they started slow versus Texas, and they had their moments versus Washington. And it's not even like the Saint kid's playing amazing. He's just doing his job, and their defense, which the last few years has been sort of a sore spot where they had talent, they had a good defense, not a great defense. Bringing in Matt Patricia, which came out of left field, he is literally treating them like an NFL defense, and their defense is lights out. And then you combine that with an offense that is so star-studded, it's ridiculous. Like, it's Ohio State than everyone else. So I'm curious. I knew they wouldn't be undefeated. I thought Miami would lose a couple games. And again, they play SMU on the road, tough game. Pitt on the road, tough game. I don't guarantee they're going to lose one of those games. But Miami's always felt like they have some holes to me. Like all the things that people give them credit for, that's perfect if you keep it right there. All the things that people give them credit for, I don't know if they're as good as the defensive line. The ends are really good. The whole defensive line has you don't hear much from the tackles. It's not like the tackles explode things up very much. The linebackers are solid, but they're not. They were much better last year. And the secondary is a major issue. The secondary is a major concern. And on offense, Beck, if you get Beck all day, which he's going to get behind that line, the offensive line, because the offensive line is the biggest strength of the whole team. The right side's amazing. The left side's not great, but the right side's really good. And the center is really good. And he's been getting a lot of time. And when he has time, he's really good. But what I've talked about all year is, if you notice the few times Florida, some of these other games where teams were able to get after him, he just
can't scramble.
He can't handle it. He can't scramble. And he's not even one to okay, let me throw it away. Let me, even I was talking with Defo, Marino wasn't going to scramble. Marino had that shimmy where he could get away from a guy and get rid of the ball.
Marino had great footwork.
Yes, and he was good at avoiding sacks. Like Beck,
he would step to the side, step up, step back. He was just,
and that's the thing is, and that's what I like when I watch FSU, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Just bring pressure. Like Beck, the minute he sees pressure, he loses his mind, and you saw it that entire game. They were very aggressive. Louisville has one of the better defenses in the country, and it was on display.
You don't think Stanford is going to come after Beck?
Oh, I don't know. No, look, to me, and I hate when they put out the game plan that not everyone can follow whatever game plan people pull out, but it is pretty clear at this point that if you can find a way to get to him, and also they're struggling to run the ball. I know early in the season they put up big run stats and that overinflate. When I've watched the Canes, the run game is okay, but it's not what it should be for this mammoth offensive line. Teams know by the second, third quarter, the run game is sort of going to go away, and just watch Tony, because that's their whole offense. It's sort of been predicated on big plays to Tony and Daniels, and Louisville took it away. Yes, they got a couple early. The second half, they didn't. You didn't hear either of those guys' names at all in the second half. So you put it all on Beck, and Beck, there's a reason Georgia didn't do everything they could to keep him. He's a fine quarterback. He's been good for this.
He's a good quarterback when everything is perfect.
Bingo. That's a good. Well, look, and early in the year when the people were well, look at what he's doing. The Notre Dame game, he was all over the place. His receivers just made some of the best catches you'd ever see in your life.
If you watch,
he was getting credit for that. I'm like, dude, the ball was 6 yards too high. And he settled in a little bit against some of these teams that haven't been pressuring him. So we'll see if the rest of the year they can do that. But SMU, you would think SMU is going to come after him. You would think Pitt is always very well coached, very disciplined. And that's the other thing, too. Miami's been feasting on undisciplined, turnover-prone teams. And that was the other thing. I was like, I don't think Louisville's not that. Louisville's extremely well coached under Brom.
And Brom has Miami's number.
Well, Braum has top 5 teams number. Like he's like 6-2 versus top 5. It's something like good teams aren't as good as he is against top 5 teams. So it was a recipe for disaster for the Miami Hurricanes. They're still in good standing. They're still in the top 10. I'm just curious because again, we've seen this every year with Mario. We've seen this every year where that last month and a half is actually his worst time. Well, we've seen it with the Canes again. Mark Richt did this where they were 10-0. They were top 10, top 6 or something, and then they lost 3 out of their last 4. They lost 3 in a row. Like they did that last year. They lost 3 out of their last 4. I don't think they're going to do that, but it is hard.
I would like to see Miami play Notre Dame today.
I don't think Miami wants to.
Huh?
I don't think Miami wants to. Like I think they are about where they should be, a top 10 team. But again, and it's not, they're not alone. If you look at the rest of the country, like you said, like outside of Ohio State, every team seems to have major issues. You know, Ole Miss is a nice team, but they don't scare you. Texas A&M is a good team. They don't scare you. I mean, Texas is working their way back up, but they have a horrible loss to UF.
The only reason Texas A&M scares you is because of the coach.
Well, Elko's good. Elko's a guy that knows how to get the job done. But again, Notre Dame, they played much better football of late, but they still do have 2 losses. And I get it. It's 2 losses to 2 teams in the top 10. But, you know, Indiana's played really good football. Indiana put out Oregon. But it's not like, I don't know who's scared. There's a lot of very good teams. There seems to be one great team.
Yes.
And we'll see how it finishes off down the stretch. Now, the other team down here in South Florida that you've always been a big supporter of, and we always sort of not made fun of you, but sort of joked about how you would do the win-loss, and no matter what was going on, every year the Miami Dolphins are winning 10 or 11 games, 12 games, no matter what. That was Tony Segreto. You, in the last 2 to 3 years, I don't know if it's you aren't as close to the program, to the franchise, or it's now been 20-something years of, ugh. So at some point, even Tony Segreto has to face reality. Like, you've been very different the last 2 to 3 years when it comes to the Miami Dolphins.
You know what? They're playing for the Stephen Ross. Now, why hasn't he fired McDaniel? Because he wants to get the number 1 draft pick.
The funny thing is, I wouldn't mind that. My thing was at the beginning of the year, once they started struggling, I was like, don't fire them. Like, I don't want an interim guy to come in and win 3 or 4 stupid ball games that don't mean anything. You're not going to keep the interim guy. Like, I'd rather they made their bed, they put this team together, let them suck. My only problem is they've taken it to some weird level where it's like when you've lost 4 in a row, when you're giving away games to the Panthers, when the Browns are beating you by 30, it's like,
it is the most bizarre season I can think of. I mean, except for the strike year back in 80, whatever, 84, 83, 82, and COVID. This has got to be the strangest year I've seen.
Well, I mean, the NFL in general is a little all over the place, but look at the Ravens. The Bills have had their struggles. But yeah, the Dolphins, look, even people like us who are a little more cynical thought they'd win 7-8 games. I mean, to have a 17-point lead, and I get it, the Panthers have now won 3 in a row. They're playing better football, but you're up 17 in the second quarter, to never score again. I mean, you then fight back versus a decent Charger team, and they have had their struggles of late, actually. But a decent Charger team to get a lead with 40 seconds left, they only have 1 timeout. You have 2 shots at a sack to pretty much end the game. Don't get the sack. They go down. They get a field goal. Then you play the Browns, who are 1-5. Just trade away their solid quarterback to go with Dylan Gabriel, who's not been good in his early days in the NFL, to then lose 31-6 to that Browns team. And I don't even know if they threw for 200 yards.
That is the biggest shock in the world. How can you lose to the Browns 31-6?
See, that's my problem. Is like, even a guy like me is like, I don't want them finding a way getting to go to, because look, there's no quarterback I want. So the first, second, third pick, it's all the same to me right now. But I don't want them falling to like the 8th pick or the 7th pick. Because look, if you're going to be bad, be really bad.
Who is?
I mean, they're talking about the kid from Oregon, but he has major issues. They're talking about the kid from Indiana who was with Cal before, Mendoza, who's a Miami kid. Like, Pavea is nice, but he's more of a college guy. He's small. But Mendoza has all the tools. He's big. He's strong. He's winning with Indiana. he's a guy that will go in the top 5. I just don't see him as a surefire starter franchise guy. Like after Tua, like I want to see the season play out, see if there's anyone. The Dante Moore kid with Oregon's interesting.
Quinn Ewers is a backup.
I'd like to see you. It's funny. I'd like to just see them play Ewers. Like, and I want FSU to do the same thing. If you're gonna be bad, go young. Like, I'd rather you just go young. Like, see what you have for the next regime, who's worth keeping, who's worth going. Like, yes. I would have wide open competition, but you're not seeing that. You're seeing the same guys get out there. They're playing lackluster, lazy, lackadaisical football, and that's my problem. It's not the losing. Whatever you lose, let McDaniel finish out the year.
It looks at times, and I'm not saying it is. It looks at times that they're not trying.
Well, that's the thing is I don't know what term you want to call, but it looks like they're not prepared. It looks like I wonder when I look at both teams, FSU and Miami and the Dolphins, and I'm like, what'd you do all week? Like honestly, because I watched your game the last week. You're making mistakes. Like
give Norvell a break.
I mean, it's hard to give them a break. They're like one in their last 16 ACC games. The ACC is the second worst conference, so
they're not going to fire him. They're not going to fire him.
They'll fire him at the end of the year. I mean, he's done. But they're going to try.
They're not going to fire him.
Oh no, he's gone. I mean, they pretty much said
they're not going to fire him, Lubie.
Well, they have to. I mean, he can't. He's lost the team. No. They're not going to fire him now. The buyout goes down by $10 million at the end of the year, and you then give yourself 3 months to get the money. I mean, the buyout's the only reason he's still there now. With a 2-win season last year, he would have been gone. But he goes and gets the Alabama win, and they look like they turn things around. And I don't know.
Here's the question: You want to fire all these people?
I don't want to fire anyone. If you're not doing your job,
who's going to replace him?
Let's see. If I'm FSU, I'm all in on James Franklin.
He's the number one guy out there.
Exactly. But the UF is supposed to set their sights on. Yeah, I don't want Napier. Lane Kiffin. UF is supposed to set their sights on Lane Kiffin, and there is somewhere that they actually have a shot to get him. James Franklin did not win the big game at Penn State, but Penn State, that recruiting base is not the same thing as Tallahassee. Tallahassee is well regarded as the best recruiting base in the country because you literally have arms in Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and the whole Southeast, and you are and you're West, so you can touch the West. Like Tallahassee is regarded as the holy grail of recruiting bases. That's something Franklin did not have at Penn State, and the Big Ten is arguably the best conference at times, but at least the second best conference, and he was competitive every year there. So the not winning the big game thing to me is annoying if I'm a Penn State fan, but if I'm a Florida State fan and I look at what he would be going up against in the ACC, I'd go all in on him. So
have you ever been to Happy Valley?
No, I've heard it's an amazing. I mean, it looks like an amazing experience, but
it is the mecca of college football. I think. I mean, there are certain places in the country that you have to go to if you're a football fan, if you're a college football fan, and Penn State's one of them. Notre Dame is another. Oregon. Those are like 3 places that you got to go to. Even you don't have to be a fan. You can hate them, but you have to go and you see it.
Yeah. Look, he was there. He didn't want to leave. It didn't work out there. But I think he's a guy that in Tallahassee now with a chip on his shoulder, he was very clear he's not happy. It's still his fault. They didn't you get to this plateau, they want more. I mean, and I totally get that. But he's who I'd be going after hardcore. I think he in Tallahassee.
Oh, he's being talked to already.
No. I mean, everyone wants him, and I get it. And
the Gators are talking to him.
Gators are talking to him because they actually got rid of their coach. Florida State still hasn't got rid of their coach. So I don't know. Look, Norvell's going to be there probably till the end of the year. I'm definitely not fighting that. And we'll see if they can find a way to get the funds to buy him out. But I think it's a win more than an if there. The Mike McDaniel one's interesting to me just because I think the FSU guys are trying. They're just lost. They're not improving, which is why I think it's time. Once you stop improving, you're regressing. The Dolphins,
I think they put all their eggs on Tommy Castellanos.
Well, 100%.
and that was a mistake. And they're paying for it now.
Yeah, why not? He's, I guess, dinged up, so that's totally changed our offense because they need him to be more mobile, and he's not able to be as mobile since the Kent State game. So literally the last 4 games. I would go to the kid. I mean, again, when he's been out there, Sperry, he's looked interesting. And if you're going to be bad, I'd rather be bad and young. And I would say the same thing for the Dolphins. I don't know what Ewers is. Ewers hasn't looked good, but Tua hasn't looked good either. So put Ewers out there, see what he has. Again,
put Ewers out there.
It's just to do the same thing over and over and over again.
They're trying to get a trade for Tua. That's all I can think of.
Tua is gonna be a tough thing to sell to someone because that contract's ridiculous and he's injury prone, and now he has a turnover bug. So
he's a good backup.
I don't know. I actually don't know what Tua is because I was all in on the Tua train and I've had to pull back and just admit it is what it is. One man that is all in on all things college football and also has one of the top restaurant groups. I don't like saying chain groups in all the world. I think we just lost him actually, so that's great timing. And Garcia will be joining us shortly. We're going to take our break. We are with the one and only Tony Segreto. This is Kicking It Old School with Tony Segreto. Again, thank you to Texas Roadhouse. Shortly after the break, we will be joined by, hopefully, Mr. Texas Roadhouse himself, Ed Garcia. For Tony Segreto, I am Mike Lubie. We'll be back right after this on the Defo Show.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe B.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
What we gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
We are now kicking it old school with the one and only Tony Segreto. Brought to you by Texas Roadhouse.
Tell me, doctor, where are we going this time?
No Defo, but you do have the one and only Tony Segreto. And right now we are joined via phone because this gentleman has, I think, a dentist appointment. The one and only Ed Garcia joins us, Mr. Michigan himself. Good morning, Ed. How you doing?
Good morning. Yes, and you are correct. Just had to get one in before I get back out on the road today. So I tried to do the laptop here from the lot, but can't get a good signal.
Well, we appreciate you still joining us here.
Hey, Ed, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I actually was in Michigan this past weekend and
nice.
got to enjoy the Michigan-Washington game, which was absolutely fantastic. Couldn't stay long enough for the Monday night Lions game, which that was absolutely incredible. But back in Florida for a couple of days and actually head back to Michigan tomorrow.
Going back to the Michigan game tomorrow?
No. I'm just going back to visit family tomorrow for the day. So they're not playing tomorrow. I wish it would be at Lansing this weekend. It's
Yes.
Big brother versus little brother, and we've been seeing the rivalry happen all week. That's for sure.
So Michigan is sort of finding its way. A nice win over Washington this last week. Washington has been a surprising team this season. Bryce Underwood is finding his game. You do have your intrastate rivalry with the Spartans this weekend. What is your take of Michigan and like the college football season in general? Just because we talked about the Canes last week, we all were a little questionable. They went on to lose in a game where Louisville sort of controlled the entire game. Miami made it close at the end, but Louisville, if they don't fumble at the end, they win by probably 2 scores. But Miami is still sitting there in the top 10. It feels like, and I hate to say this to you, Ed Garcia, it feels like it's Ohio State and everyone else. What are your thoughts as a guy who's a Michigan guy who has had Ohio State's number the last few years, including last year when they won their title? You sort of set them off into their frenzy. What is your thoughts on Michigan and from the college football season so far?
Well, I mean, I feel Michigan overall is a very, very young team. They're still learning to coach. They're learning the offense. Defense, we do not have a lot of depth, and we're not consistent in, the defense plays that we call, which open up a lot of holes, a lot of chunk plays for the opposing team and things like that. Overall, I think they're going to be a force to reckon with the next few years because, again, Bryce Underwood just turned 18.
Jesus.
Now, college football as a whole, we've seen so many upsets this year, so many big changes, things going back and forth, and I'll tell you, it has not been good for my pocketbook because what I expect sometimes does not happen. And I think the big factor is NIL, where a few years ago, and Tony can probably speak a lot to this, you came, you played for your program, you played for your team, you played for your coach. And one of the number one questions, and again, I'm not in this position, but what I hear and kind of see is, what's my paycheck going to be? And that's not the mentality of winning. The passion is number one. And then, with the right passion, right results, then the paychecks will follow. So that's, I think, the big game changer. Hey, Ohio State's offense, no one can deny they are absolutely on fire. Very strong defense. A couple of big surprises with the Hoosiers going 7-0.
I was going to say, like, what, as a Big Ten guy, you watch that football a lot more than I do. I've been trying to keep an eye on Indiana. That the Indiana-Oregon game was very telling. It was interesting to see them because they do the thing where they don't play anyone out of conference. They usually miss 1 or 2 of Ohio State and Michigan. So it's helping them sort of pad the record, but they did go and beat an Oregon team that a lot of people have as a top 10 team.
Signetti.
What is Indiana? Like, what? Because I like Signetti a lot. The fact that they lost their quarterback from last year, brought in a new quarterback, and Washington's repeat, they're sitting there in the top 3. Like, as a guy who is a Big Ten guy, it must be mine. It's like Vandy in the SEC to watch Indiana, of all things, be good in football. But, like, how for real are they? Because you watch that conference a lot more than anyone. Like, last year, okay, fine. This year too, and they are very smart. They're very disciplined. They're very well. It's like the opposite of what I see when I see Florida State. Like, they're always around the ball. They don't make mental lapses. Signetti seems to have them in an interesting gear. Like, how for real do you consider Indiana?
I mean, their offense is pretty incredible. They're getting, I want to say, somewhere over 43 points a game, which is absolutely incredible. Defense, I feel, is also very, very solid. And it goes back to what I said earlier, this small school, which, again, I say this with all the love in the world, I didn't really recognize had a real football program. So
they didn't.
When you have this group, I mean, there's a bond, there's a chemistry. We see it all the time in pro, college, and this, that. When the quarterback and the receiver or the halfback are clicking and they got that on the field, off the field passion, that culture, things are going to click. You know what to do. You're kind of thinking what your teammates thinking, and that's going to win you some games. And I think that's, what's brought Indiana to the forefront. And I'll tell you, 2 years ago, we played Indiana when that was almost a trap game for Michigan. When they won the national championship, that might've been one of our bigger struggles that year. So that is just, I think, a force that's been building up.
Michigan, Indiana and Vanderbilt have to be the 2 biggest stories right now in college football.
That's crazy.
The college game day is going to be at Vanderbilt. Nashville, Tennessee. They need both.
Right.
So crazy. Look, I think it's great for the sport, but Like everyone's jumping. Oh, parody, parody, parody. I'm curious to see who's there in the end. Like as much as we talk parody, it always seems like there's a Georgia or a Bama or a Michigan or Texas, sitting there in the end. I'm even an Ole Miss that is an SEC team that never seems to be able to get out of their own way.
Ole Miss is beatable.
No, they are. But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm curious
100%.
of what these teams can in Indiana, because it seems like they'll get now with the playoffs. There's 12 teams. Okay, so you can be a part of the 12. Can you be in the Final Four? Can you be in that championship game? Like, I'm all for the parody. I'm just curious how real the parody is. People want to look at Indiana. Look, okay, again, it's October. Like, where are we in December? I'm curious. That's why I asked, because I think they are for real. I like Signetti, and they have a legit quarterback. And when you have a coach and a quarterback that you can trust, like that goes a very long way. It's like in the NCAA tournament when you have a point guard and a coach, like that can take you far, but they're still Indiana, right? Like it's just hard for me to see them going into Ohio State in January.
You have to get your mind right because of NIL, because Ed said it's a small school. It's going to be this way from now on. And if Signetti can keep it up.
Well, and they just gave him that deal. Like, I mean, they were like, we're not messing around with it. This guy is going to be one of the top 3 candidates out there. They gave him a record-breaking deal. The one thing I do want to talk to you guys about, and I know Ed's got to get out of here. I do want to touch on Texas Roadhouse. These buyouts, I think are, and again, it is personal because I'm a Florida State fan, and we're literally being hamstrung by the buyouts. Like, I don't know, was it Jimbo? Like, I don't know where they got to the point where they're literally the same or bigger than the contract itself. Like, to me, they're way out of hand. And as much as we talk about transfer portal, NIL, these buyouts are just as big an issue when it comes to college football as anything.
$50 million for Franklin. $50 million.
Yeah, 49 million. I mean, Kirby right now, it's estimated about 118 million if there's going to be a buyout, which is absolutely insane. But here's maybe a rhetorical question, or feel free to jump on in. But looking at and I'm drawing a blank on the name, the Washington head coach, with the post game on Michigan.
Yes, it's Fish,
and
former Arizona.
Do you feel he's just waiting for an offer right now? I mean, is he in it 100%? For that game, and could be looking at a buyout. And I think that's a big thing you're 100% looking at. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you've seen Saban kind of talk about James Franklin, but where is the loyalty? What is that going to do to Penn State? I think Penn State took a big hit, a big risk, and I don't think it's going to work out in their favor for the next few years because they're going to lose recruits. And that is someone that got them there. Has there been some mistakes? Absolutely. But college football is a new game. It is different with the NIL. There's so many different offensive weapons, weapons and styles.
You shouldn't have as loose a trigger as you do.
Well, the fact, them doing it in the season was weird. Like they were in the playoffs last year.
Right.
It was and who you're going to get. That's the thing that's always the question for FSU. To me, the fact that they're like 1-12 in their last ACC games, it does when that's the case, it doesn't matter who you get. You just, his message is falling on deaf ears. You got to turn the page. Penn State, that wasn't exactly the case. Look, it's clear that they were having issues.
There's more to it.
It's clear they're having issues for sure, but again, they were in the playoffs last year. They've been a contender in a way that they hadn't been since Joe Pa. So I don't know who I don't know. Like, I really don't know what they're going to do. I do know one place that is always consistent, no matter where you go around the country, around the world, because they are over 600 restaurants strong, the number one fast casual restaurant group and beyond, Texas Roadhouse. We know you're about to head back on the road, as you said, Ed. What is going on with Texas Roadhouse? I know you guys just, as you say, block and tackle. It's not about seasons. It's not about specials. It's about just doing what you do each and every day. But you are a pretty cool place to go and watch football. You have the coldest beer in town. You do have, you do specials that are very intriguing. And you've, like we've talked about, have high quality food and have somehow, some way been able to control the price.
And you have the coldest beer in the world.
I love it. It absolutely tastes delicious. I celebrated that Lions victory the other day with a couple of Frosties for sure.
That was a great one.
It was a great one, especially, there was a lot of the opposing team at the place. But, hey, I'll tell you what we got going on. Halloween is coming up right around the corner. And
next
for
week.
those with families, we do something that is really cool. We partner with the local community. More than likely, this coming Tuesday, some are Monday, but check with your local Texas Roadhouse. We do what's called a trunk or treat.
Oh, wow.
And everybody gets dressed up. We have, again, just a lot of partners from the area. They come in and they have giveaways. So you can go through our parking lot. It's almost like trick or treating for adults and kids and enjoy a really, really great meal. Some of these events have drawn up to 5,000 people.
Oh, wow.
It's really, really cool what we've accomplished, with that. And again, it's just, being part of the community. So that, we got Halloween, and then kind of crazy to think about, but we really have less than 11 weeks away from Christmas, which we don't want to think about buying gifts right now, but, Texas Roadhouse is going to have that gift card. I think I sent you a few last year. You can get gift cards with your pictures on there, your business, and this, that. And really the time is to plan it now. And hey, I tell you, a lot of people will buy because we give discounts when you buy them in bulk. So somebody like Lubie who eats there once a week may not be a bad idea to buy a whole bunch of discounted gift cards. You're discounting your meals for the future. So
and you got Thanksgiving coming up. You got Thanksgiving.
And you guys do a lot of things around that as well.
I'm sorry?
You got Thanksgiving coming up, and you guys do a lot. Your food's very Thanksgiving friendly. It's comfort food to the max.
100%. We can help with a little bit. I mean, especially with these big parties. Hey, if you don't want to chop salad mix all day, we got that for you. You want just our dressings? We got you. You want sides, mashed potatoes, green beans, corn, just maybe a little bit of pulled pork, for somebody that may not want turkey. Hey, hit us up. We'll take care of you. And again, it's made from scratch. It's very, very fresh. I mean, you said it already. And you can't go wrong. We'll just try to make it as easy as possible. And don't forget, only the South Florida stores, but we do have that bread pudding, which is a great way to make some dessert for Thanksgiving.
And you got the margaritas to go.
Yes, your margaritas, and you do them to go.
That is right. Yes. That, I'll tell you, that's the secret ingredient to prevent those family fights. I do that. I give my mom
a pitcher of margarita.
Extra margarita, and for some reason, not yelling and not talking poorly about anybody. It's pretty amazing.
Here, Mom.
Yep.
The elixir to calm any Thanksgiving. Texas Roadhouse. Ed, we appreciate your time, my friend. Hopefully, it's a nice and easy visit, and we'll see you next. We'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. Take care, guys.
Bye.
There you go. The one and only Ed Garcia. Before we get out of here, Tony, we had a request from the one and only Jim Sarney to talk World Series. I did tease that we would, so I'm not trying to leave anyone hanging. You are a baseball guy through and through. You literally played minor league baseball yourself. Blue Jays, Dodgers. We talked about if it was a Mariners.
This is a network disaster.
I mean, you got the Dodgers at least. I mean, that is the second biggest.
Dodgers, but it's still a West Coast team.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's a West Coast team.
So Fox is pulling his hair out right now, pulling his hair out because they don't know what to do. However, I see this going 6 games, 5 games, and give it to the Dodgers.
That's my thing. I look. I'm not saying sweep. I'm not calling sweep. It's hard to call sweep in a World Series, but the Dodgers, for all their struggles all season, it seems like they've sort of just wanted to get here. They've become a team. They become one of these teams that knows it's about October. It's about, I guess, November nowadays. Like, they've been in the World Series or conference championship almost every year. I'm sorry, the ALCS and LCS. So, like, this is what they play for, and they're playing their best baseball, like you're saying, right at the right time. The Blue Jays have a nice lineup. They're a nice team. They're a great story. It's hard for me to see them taking more than 2 games. Take more than a game, honestly. Like, if they push it to 6, I'd be surprised.
Yes.
But
amen.
All right, so there you go, Sarney. We talked a little bit of World Series. that
hey, Jim, enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, and also last night, Marchie Brad Marchand made his return to Boston. They did the video thing. Look, he's a legend, and he didn't ask out. They are growing young. They're rebuilding. It worked out. They got really good picks and made an interesting trade on their end, and then sort of gift wrapped the championship for the Panthers because Marchand was arguably the Panthers' best player. If you want to say he was second or third, he was fantastic the entire playoffs. So thank you, Boston. I have nothing against the Boston Bruins because that trade was fantastic. They were able to get him for a good number and have him return. And in the stead of Barkov and Kachuk, the only reason they've sort of kept it going was because of Marchand, but they treated him well last night in Boston. Panthers did get off the schneid as they sort of fallen on hard times, winning 4-3 up in Boston. So good job, Boston fans, and great job, Brad Marchand. We will be done the rest of this week, but we will see you Monday after another football weekend.
We're not doing it Fridays, mate.
Well, no, I mean Mayo. We'll have Mayo shows. Today we'll be at Even Kill Fish Shack at 2:00, and then tomorrow I think we're working out what we're gonna do, and then Friday we will be at 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park. Defo and I are off the rest of this week. Defo will be back, and we will be back Monday. Hopefully, we'll have better things to talk about than what we've had to talk about. Tony, appreciate your time, my friend. Always thank you to Texas Roadhouse, and we will see you Friday, Mr. Tony Segreto, and we will see you guys bright and early. Today at 2:00 for Even Kill Fish Shack. Monday, 8:00 for Defo. I am Mike Lubie Lubitz. We'll see you Friday. We'll see you Friday. We'll see you Monday on the Defo Show.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my show.